Hi and welcome back to Movies Explained. Today we will be recapping an Oscar-winning Indian movie called Slumdog Millionaire. So without further ado, let's begin. Jamal is looking anxiously at the policeman who is sitting on a chair with his legs on the table, right in front of Jamal. He is smoking a cigarette and exhaling the smoke on Jamal's face, and suddenly the policeman slaps him out of nowhere. The policeman once again asks him about his name, and Jamal gets a flashback when he is on the set of the show called Who Will Be a Millionaire, as the host welcomes the audience and asks the first contestant of the show for that night, a young boy Jamal Malik from Mumbai. The audience starts cheering for him. After the brief welcome, the host asks Jamal to relax and asks him what he does for the living. Jamal tells the host that he works in a call center. The host asks Jamal in which call center does he work, to which he replies the host, and the host jokes with him that he is getting a lot of calls from him lately. Jamal was unsure how to reply to his joke as he was nervous, and the host starts mocking him by saying what he does in that call center. Upon hearing the question, he replies that he is an assistant in the call center. Once again the host mocks him by asking being an assistant what he does there. Jamal replies that he brings tea for everyone. The host and the audience start laughing as the host mocks Jamal by saying that he comes from slums and works as a tea waiter. He will not be able to answer a single question and he should probably go home. In the present, the policeman interrogates him how he was able to win $20 million in the TV show Who Will Be a Millionaire. Has he cheated or is he lucky? Is he a genius or is it written in destiny? The policeman beats him, tortures him, and asks him how he is able to cheat in the show. He gives him an electric shock and in result he faints. When he gets back to his consciousness, Jamal tells the policeman that he knew all the answers. He starts telling him his story and he gets a flashback when he is a kid and plays with his folks on the road as the police come and they all run away. They pass the streets and police follow them, and when the police catch them, Jamal's mother would always save them. He also shares the stories of his school, when his mother would take him and his brother to the school and teachers will hit him for not knowing how to open a book correctly. After hearing the stories, the policeman airs the shows on TV where the host explains him about the lifelines which he can use in case of any confusion, which includes 50-50, asking the audience and calling a friend. The host asks Jamal the first question: who is the main actor in the 1993 film called Zanjeer? Jamal gets a flashback when he and his brother are using a public slum toilet. While he is in the toilet, superstar Amitabh Bachchan's helicopter flies by and his brother Salim locks him in there. Jamal wants to get an autograph of the person he admires so much, so he tries to open the door, but the door is locked. He thinks for a minute and decides what he will do next. Then he jumps in the sewerage system and is able to escape from there. He runs to Amitabh Bachchan all covered in the sewerage waste and asks him for an autograph. Salim, who is standing there, asking for an autograph, feels jealous of him, but Jamal feels very happy that he is able to get an autograph by his favorite actor. Salim sells his autograph to some other person in jealousy for some coins. Jamal gets to know about it and fights with his brother. Jamal gives the correct answer Amitabh Bachchan and he wins 1,000 Indian rupees. For the next question, the host asks about a picture of 3 lions which is seen on the national emblem of India. He then asks Jamal what is written underneath it. At first Jamal gets confused and the host starts making fun of him, but Jamal doesn't lose his nerves and tells the host that he does not know the answer and uses the lifeline to ask the audience. The host starts passing sarcastic comments on him, but the audience gives him the answer and Jamal wins 4,000 rupees. The policeman asks Jamal that it is a rather simple question. How does he not know the answer? Jamal asks the policeman whether he knows the rate of a street food called Pani Puri at the stall near the train station. The policeman is quite startled at the question but answers 100 rupees anyway, but Jamal tells him that he is wrong. It is just as simple of a question as he is asked in the show. The next question the host asks is in the depiction of God Rama. He is holding wood in his right hand. Jamal gets a flashback when he and his brother are taking batch of clothes in the warehouse and their mother is washing clothes there. Jamal's mother suddenly notices a mob coming towards them with knives and firearms in their hand. His mother screams at them to run away, but his mother is not able to escape and gets killed. Jamal and Salim run away and escapes the mob. While running away, he sees a blue child impersonating as God Rama and remembers the answer to the question. He gives the correct answer and wins 16,000 Indian rupees. After this, the host asks him to quit the show at this point as he has the opinion that Jamal will not be able to give any further answers. After that, Jamal remembers the day he loses his mother. Jamal and Salim hides them and Jamal sees a girl all drenched in rain. He asks Salim if they could let the girl to stay with them and that he can be their third musketeer, but Salim refuses to let her in and says that he is the elder brother now and he should abide by his decisions. They both fall asleep when Jamal sees a nightmare of his mother's death. He wakes up and sees Lutica, the girl from earlier, still sitting in the rain. He looks at Salim and asks Lutica to come under the shelter. The next question is about a famous Bollywood song, and host asks Jamal the song was written by which famous Indian poet. Jamal gets a flashback when they are in the slums sleeping under the tents, and Maman and his men come and offers them bottles of cold drinks, and he takes them to a shelter. They give them food and everyone thinks that Maman is a good man. He used to listen to that song from every kid. When Salim sings the song, everybody starts laughing and he gets angry, but Maman gets impressed from him and sends Salim to get more kids. He then sends them to beg on the roads. He also recalls when Lutica places red chilies in the scrotum of Salim while he is sleeping and all the children make fun of him. He is blowing in anger and says to Lutica that he will get back on her. After some time, Maman takes the eye out of a kid and asks Salim to bring Jamal. Salim gets confused, but Maman notices Salim's confusion and tells Salim that he has the potential to take his place. He can live a life of a man or a slumdog. After hearing that, Salim goes to get Jamal. Jamal and Lutica are talking about living together in a house with Salim when Jamal asks Lutica will she dance with him. Salim comes to them and asks him to come along to sing the song to Maman. He asks Jamal to run on his command. Jamal goes to Maman and starts singing the song. Lutica looks at them from outside through a hole. Just then Salim suddenly attacks the person and asks Jamal to run. Jamal, Salim and Lutica start running and Jamal and Salim get on a train. Lutica tries to grab Salim's hand, but Salim lets her go. Jamal fights with Salim on letting her go, and Salim tells Jamal that they are about to take his eye out and Lutica will be fine. They start selling balloons and eatables in the trains to make a living. They once try to steal food from a family in the train, which caused both of them to fall down on the lines. They both become young and one day reaches Taj Mahal, where two English people ask Jamal to give them a tour. He impersonates as a tour guide and starts giving them the tour. They start stealing shoes and wallets and would then sell them in the bazaar. The next question is, on an American $100 bill, there is a portrait of which American statesman. Jamal gives the right answer and wins the money. He then gets a flashback about the time when he goes to search for Lutica. He goes to all those places where she can possibly be. One day he went to underground train station and sees a child with one damaged eye begging. He immediately recognizes him and gets to know that he is one of the children who work for Maman. He gives the child a $100 note and asks the child where Lutica is. The child tells him she has been kept in Mumbai's slums to make her a prostitute. After hearing that, Jamal and Salim go to get her. Meanwhile, Maman comes over there. Maman shows his intentions to take the revenge, but Salim takes out a pistol and asks Maman to get down on his knees. Maman asks Salim to leave him and go, but Salim kills Maman and gets out of there with Jamal and Lutica. That night Salim gets drunk and goes to meet Javed. Then he comes back and tries to rape Lutica. Jamal fights with Salim and Salim takes out the pistol and asks Jamal to leave. Lutica tries to save Jamal and asks him to go away. In the police station, the policeman asks him about Lutica and uses foul language. Jamal slaps the policeman. After that, the policeman asks him how he reaches the show. He gets a flashback when he is in the call center serving tea to everybody. In a presentation room, a senior is asking questions to his fellow colleague which they are unable to answer. She then asks Jamal and he answers correctly, and she mocks that a tea waiter knows better than them. One of his friends from call center asks him to cover for him. While doing so, Jamal looks at the records and finds out Salim's number. He then calls Salim by pretending to be a person from call center. Salim recognizes his voice and tells him lies that he has to run away as Maman's man are searching for them. After hearing that, Jamal goes out to meet Salim and gets to know that he works for Javed. Jamal stays at Salim's house and observes Salim what he is doing. He asks Salim about Lutica and Salim says he does not know where she is now. He follows Salim and sees Lutica in a house. He impersonates as a chef and meets Lutica where he gets to know that she lives with Javed. Javed comes to house and treats Lutica badly. After seeing all that, he asks Lutica to run away with him and confess that he loves her and that he will wait for her at the station at 5 p.m. every day. She comes to the station, but Salim and his men catch her and take her back as Jamal can't reach her in time. The next question for 10 million is which cricketer has scored the most first-class centuries in the history. Jamal does not know the answer of this question and the host takes a break. They go to the restroom where the host tells Jamal that only he will make the history as he also belongs to the slums and is able to win such a large amount of money. The host offers him his help so he would be able to make such a big mark. The host tells him the answer. Jamal comes back to the hot seat and he is again asked the question. Jamal is reluctant and uses the lifeline. He chooses the answer opposite to what the host tells him. This makes the host startled and he tries to confuse Jamal. But Jamal sticks to his previous answer and wins 10 million rupees. The day ends and the host asks him to come tomorrow for the final question for 20 million rupees, but the host comes with him to the door and hands him over to the police. The policeman says he knows he is telling the truth, but he is reluctant to admit. To which Jamal replies that he is a boy from slums, that is why they are not willing to admit that he is speaking the truth. He then tells the policeman that he does not know where they have taken Latika. On the next day, Jamal goes to the show. He meets some audience on his way to the show. People shower him with love and good wishes. On the other hand, Javed has taken Latika to some party where they all watch the news and get to know about Jamal being a contestant in the popular TV show, and he is a winner of 10 million rupees. They also get to know that he has been arrested. Javed changes the channel and Latika leaves the room. Celine follows her and sees her crying. He asks Latika to take the keys and go away. Latika says Javed will not spare him, but Celine requests to forgive him for what he has done to her and run away. Latika is eager to reach Jamal, but she is stuck in traffic. He is taken back to the show for the very last question for 20 million rupees. The last question is in Alexander Dumas' book called The Three Musketeers. Two of the musketeer are named Athos and Porthos. What is the name of third musketeer? Jamal remembers when he asks Celine to let Latika stay with him that she can be a third musketeer, and he smiles. The host says he knows the answers as he is smiling, and Jamal tells him he does not know the answer and wants to use the last lifeline to call a friend. He only knows Salem's number and calls. Latika picks up the phone. Jamal asks if she is fine and she does not know the answer. After coming back, Javed realizes about Latika's absence and looks for Celine, who is throwing money in a bathtub and commits suicide in there. On the other hand, Jamal selects the option Aramis, which is correct, and he wins 20 million rupees. Everybody celebrates and the 20 million check is given to Jamal. After that, Jamal comes to the train station where he sees Latika and he runs towards her. The two of them finally unite and the movie ends here. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it then please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. We will see you in the next one.